Do you remember the very first time you cut your hair into a bob? That bold, freeing feeling, like you were opening a brand new chapter in your life. Strange, isn't it? More than 100 years have passed, and yet the bob never truly went away. From Coco Chanel's rebellious elegance in the 1920s, to Jackie Kennedy's polished grace in the 60s, to the quiet confidence of modern women today, the bob has survived every decade, every trend, and every definition of what beauty should be. But after 60, the bob becomes something deeper. It's no longer just a haircut. It's a gentle statement. I don't need to chase youth. I just want to feel alive and authentic. At this age, cutting your hair into a bob isn't about looking younger. It's about seeing yourself more clearly. It's the moment you tell the world, this is me. Simple, confident, unapologetic. Many of us wore the bob when we were younger, as a symbol of strength, freedom, or femininity. But now, we return to it for a different reason. Not to prove anything, but to feel at peace with who we are. Because the bob didn't just survive a century. It evolved, just like we did. And if you believe that beauty doesn't disappear with age, it simply shines in a different light, then subscribe to Glow After 60. Here, we don't talk about chasing youth. We talk about glowing. In our own way, at our own age. The 3 stages of the bob's evolution. 1. The classic bob, where strength lies in simplicity. When women first cut their hair short, it wasn't just fashion, it was freedom. The classic bob, cut right at the jawline, framing the face softly, became the symbol of a woman who knew her own mind. And the magic is, even a century later, it still flatters women over 60 beautifully. It brightens the face, feels light, and is delightfully low maintenance. If your hair is fine, a simple, even cut and a bit of inward curl at the ends make your face glow instantly. If it's thicker, a soft taper at the neckline keeps it elegant and weightless. It's beauty without effort, simple, but deeply self-assured. And once you've embraced that simplicity, you might start craving something a little softer, a cut that moves with you, that breathes. So let's take a look at that next chapter. Style 2. The soft layered bob, when your hair starts to breathe again after 60. It's not just our skin that changes, our hair does too. It becomes finer, lighter, a bit less lively. But add a few gentle layers and suddenly, it's as if your hair wakes up again. That's the beauty of the soft layered bob, a style that doesn't make people say, nice haircut, but rather, you look so fresh today. What's your secret? Those airy layers create natural volume, lifting the face softly, adding dimension and light. For fine hair, they create fullness. For thicker hair, they bring movement and balance. And if your strands are turning silver, the layers catch light in the most graceful way, making the color shimmer rather than fade. It's a style for women who still love their femininity but want their hair to have life, motion, and glow. And once you've felt your hair moving with you again, you start to realize it's not just about how your hair looks, but what it says about your story. So let's move forward to a kind of beauty that shines from the inside out. Style 3. The silver bob, when light comes from within. One day you look in the mirror and realize you don't need to hide time anymore. You just need the right cut to let your light show through. The silver bob isn't a trend, it's a declaration. I'm not fighting age, I'm flowing with it. Many women fear that silver hair will make them look older, but the truth is the opposite. When paired with a clean modern bob, that silver reflects light beautifully, brightening the complexion, softening shadows, and giving your whole face a quiet radiance. A subtle layer or shoulder-length cut keeps it airy, modern, and effortlessly graceful. It's a look for women who've lived, loved, learned, and now simply want to be authentic. Because in the end, silver doesn't make us old. It's just another color of the same flame. And that really is the story of the bob itself, a cut that keeps evolving, just like every one of us who keeps growing, even after 60. Part 2. Common mistakes to avoid with bobs after 60. 1. Cutting it too long or too short, forgetting that your face has changed. Many women keep the same bob length they had at 40, thinking it still suits them. But after 60, our faces change. The jawline softens, the neck shifts slightly, and the proportions are different. A bob that's too long pulls the face downward, making it look heavier and tired. Too short, and it exposes the neck, which many of us would rather soften than highlight. The sweet spot is usually between the jaw and the collarbone, depending on your neck and hair texture. And here's a tiny but powerful trick. Let the ends fall right where you want people's eyes to rest. A small detail, but it can completely lift your whole look. And sometimes, just one more small change can make an even bigger difference. Mistakes. 2. Keeping it too dark, too dense, and losing the light around your face. Many women stay loyal to dark hair because they believe it looks younger. But deep shades after 60 can actually drain the face, making the skin appear dull or shadowed. And when a dark bob is thick and one length, it acts like a curtain, blocking the very light your face needs. Try lifting the color just a tone lighter than your natural base, or add soft highlights around the temples and neckline. That hint of reflection brings back glow and warmth. You don't need platinum or blonde, just a touch of gentle light so your hair and skin dance together again. Because sometimes what makes us look younger isn't a new color. It's the return of light to our face. And that light looks even lovelier when the hair itself has a little movement. Which brings us to the next point. Mistakes. 3. Keeping it too stiff, forgetting that softness is the real elegance of this age. Another common mistake is keeping the bob too perfect, too straight, too controlled, almost afraid to move. But women over 60 are most beautiful when their hair breathes, when each strand has a little air, a little rhythm, like life itself moving through it. Switch a paddle brush for a round one. Finish drying with a cool air setting. Or ask your stylist for a few light layers around the ears to add a natural swing. Tiny changes, but they wake up the whole face. Because sometimes we don't need a new haircut. We just need the old one to move again. A gentle reminder before we close. Choosing a bob isn't just a style decision. It's a conversation with yourself. When you understand your face, your light, and your rhythm, every salon visit stops being a haircut and becomes a homecoming. A return to the most authentic version of you. The most beautiful thing about the bob isn't that it makes us look younger. It's that it helps us see ourselves more clearly. Over the years, we've learned beauty isn't about holding on to what was, but allowing ourselves to keep evolving with grace, depth, and honesty. The bob, through every generation, mirrors our own journey, from rebellion to refinement to peace. And maybe that peace is the most irresistible kind of beauty there is after 60. We don't need to race against time, because we are living proof that beauty never expires. It just transforms. So if you're on that same path, the path of rediscovering your own inner light, I'd love for you to stay with us here at Glow After 60. Here we don't talk about how to look younger. We talk about how to live beautifully, right where we are. Because beauty, after all, isn't about holding on to youth. It's about learning how to shine again in your own timeless way.